Okay, so you've got the notice, you're being recorded.
Yep.
So let's talk about, we've decided to go stay a part of the PSA, the Photographic Society of America, and we've decided to go in headfirst into two more divisions. And we've added photojournalism and we've added travel. And Brian is going to be our liaison for photojournalism. And Robin could not wait to be the liaison for travel.
Yeah.
Thanks for stepping up. I'm sure that Brian will jump in here in a few minutes, and I think that I got a note from Dave that said he was running a few minutes late. I think he's still in Denver, so if he has to drive anywhere through Denver, I know how bad that is. So let's just talk about basically what this means. Basically, it means we have 3 different areas now we can submit images to. The competition deadlines are going to be November 1st, February 1st, and April 1st. That gives the liaisons a 2-week window to get their collective things together and reach back to everybody and remind them that they sent the wrong size and all those fun things. So I just bumped it up for 2 weeks. What was that? What was in that bottle, Vic?
Water.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I thought it said Grey Goose.
Now it's water.
Okay, just teasing. Anyhow, so we've still got nature, and everybody pretty much knows what that means. It could mean landscapes. It can mean wildlife. It just cannot mean anything that is or manufactured or touched by man. George, anything else you want to add on that?
Just a couple of things. So no drone shots, no cultivated vegetation. You can do wildflowers, trees, swamps, whatever, but no farm plants, no cultivated garden plants. Outside of that, biology all the way up from microscopic to macroscopic, and no hand to man, like Mike said.
So if I have my my chili peppers and my tomatoes that I currently have under a dome and a heat mat, starting from seeds, is that cultivated?
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I sent out with the meeting notice just this morning. There's 3 PDFs, one for each of the categories. It's a little bit of a read, but you could go to the section you want. There's a section in there that tells you about size, no more than 1400 pixels wide, no more than 1050 high. And we'll check that. The liaisons will check that. And you can look at it each category. The categories are pretty broad. The only thing we ask is that we cannot submit an image that has been submitted before. So once we submit these images, we have to keep track of them. And Norm passed off the USB drives with the master set, and I've been keeping that, so I can continue to do that.
Yeah. So we've got nature that we all know about. And greetings, Dave. You probably can't hear us yet. We've got, hey, Dave, how you doing? Okay, you can hear us. And then we've got, I'll go to photo travel because I want Brian to be able to talk to his area. And Robin, your division is photo travel.
Yes.
And
so I've already got some from Brian. So if anybody wants to send me any place they've been, just has to have that kind of theme of travel, kind of like what Vic has in the background of the surfer. And Bob has a nice prize.
Can I submit a sepia image?
Huh?
Travel.
I believe you can. I think monochrome is acceptable.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Okay, and
And
that
I've
gets
got
emailed to you,
some,
Robin?
Yeah, I know you have, like, you've been everywhere.
yeah, I've got some for you. You know, I've got a question. Would it be easier on the liaisons if I created some upload pages on the website for everyone to do that, or would you rather have them emailed?
So
Would
from
they
my
then
perspective,
download them?
it depends on, for me, it's what's easier for the club, because for me, these pictures at the size they are, they're not very big, so they are fairly easy to email. But if it's easier for other people, just go to one spot on the website, that's fine.
Yeah.
What's it work everywhere?
Right.
Yeah, as long as I can access them. Or
Okay,
my,
well, let's keep that conversation going, and we'll just kind of check with everybody and see what they want to do. All right, well, very good then. So yeah, and I'm thinking we just really need to hit it hard on Facebook, and you know, George and I will continue to hit it, send out emails, and the liaisons. I mean, anybody in the club can send an email to that email group. So just feel free to bug the heck out of people, and it's probably going to take a little while for everyone to get back into the swing of things.
So right, if we can, like, right now, we're gonna have to be aggressive for this first round, because we basically want to get all the images in 2 weeks.
Right.
After that, we can start immediately collecting things for February, and so we'll have 2.5 months. But this first round, we have to get, so I'd like to be aggressive, and what I mean is, as we go through show and tells, and as we go through travel photos, if somebody sees a photo that should be submitted, we'll call it out, and if the author owner could format it and send it into the liaison, that would be awesome.
Talking about the nature, right?
Well, nature, travel, and photojournalism, all three, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I'll give
Is
you.
the-
Go ahead.
Oh, is this the nature one that we can't do any sky replacements or any modifications on at all?
So yeah, you can't take anything out, and this is true for all of these. You can't take anything out. You can't put anything in. You can do global replacements, and you can do it local edits if they're not unnatural.
Yeah, so I'm just going to bring this up here, and I'll show you some of the images. I'm not sure what happened to Brian. He wanted to have some time to go over this, but I'm just going to run by it real quick. And if he joins, we can circle back around. So these are some of the images that Brian had shown me that he had submitted for photo journalism. And I'm not sure who belongs to what image.
That's me.
Is this one yours, George?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, obviously it can't go into nature because it's got man-made boats in it.
No, that was
Natural boats.
yeah.
Here's, I think this one is one of Norm's from the air show.
Nice.
This is one that Glenn sent in.
nice.
Beautiful.
Really,
Yeah.
really nice image.
I think I saw he sent Brian half a dozen pictures or so.
Yeah, this is one he picked out that he really liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's from Stan, I think. The balloon.
Oh, okay. From who?
Zan.
Zan.
think-
Oh, from Dan. Okay. And then I sent in some pictures from one of my honor flight trips.
That's nice.
No, that's good.
This is one where we met Bob Dole. This is a presentation of a reef. The gentleman on the left is a Medal of Honor recipient. I think I've told you guys about him before. He passed away a few years ago. And then Brian really liked this one.
Yeah.
You know, when you bring these vets through the airport, they get a big round of applause, and so this is a cool one too.
Yeah.
Rodeo shot.
Whew.
No bull. Huh?
Wow.
Oh, there you
Not-
go.
Robin, is this one of yours, Robin?
That glacier?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
glacier?
Oh,
Oh,
great.
yeah. Weeping
Great.
Wall.
Yeah. Great
Where was-
perspective.
Where was
Yeah.
that shot?
The Road to the Sun and Glacier.
Oh, yes.
Mm.
It looks familiar.
Yeah.
Great.
Oh, did you bike it too?
Yeah, been
Motorcycled
there.
Yeah, down.
So that's those are some examples of some of the photojournalism ones. I sent I've got some for travel, just really kind of some of my Washington DC pictures that we can take a look at real quick, and then Robin, I'll let you decide what you want to do, and then we got to get everybody else
Yeah.
Tuned in.
involved.
Oh, that's nice.
This is at the World War II Memorial.
Mm. Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Nice. I like that too. Wow.
Yeah. So anyhow, those are just some examples.
Nice.
So let's kind of jump into our images tonight, and we will just kind of take it from there. Typically, I organize by show and tell and travel, and quite frankly, this morning I had two submissions. I had I think actually I had Glenn's and I had Bob's, and I had some that I had prepared, and I thought, oh, it's going to be kind of a quiet night tonight, so I just looped them all into one folder, and then everybody else started submitting a little bit later. So try to get your images in by about 6 or 7 o'clock on Thursday morning, and that gives me a little bit of time on Thursday morning to look at them and to get them organized. Bob, you've been in Utah.
Yes. Among other places.
Got some nice stuff here. And I took the liberty of offering a couple of other ways to do some processing for your images. So
Well, that's why they're sent in there, Mike.
Wow.
okay, so this,
Bryce.
I was amazed at how much snow there actually is.
Mike, that is not snow.
Oh, really?
No, that's the whole beauty of that picture.
It's the cap, isn't it?
That is just the natural sand of a layer on top.
Okay. 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 Well, this is one of the few parks I haven't been to, so that's really cool.
No, I agree with you. That's what I thought was so neat. And everybody thinks it's snow, but it's just a geological layer in there. I made the joke 1,000 times that when I go back to Bryce and Zion and the Grand Canyon, I'm only going if I can take a geologist along with me.
Yeah.
Bryce is a beautiful place. Fantastic.
Oh,
It
yeah.
is. This was
Okay, so
this was a sunrise, Mike.
Oh,
and I think you did a really nice job capturing it. I looked at the metadata, and I noticed it was a little bit high on the ISO, and shot at f/16, which I might have shot at f/8, but I did a little bit of work on it in Photoshop just to kind of bring out the colors a little bit more.
Very nice.
So this just kind of takes care of some of the hot spots.
wow.
And if you'd like to see what the file looks like, I'll be happy to show you.
All right.
Beautiful.
Let me bring it up. So I'll be honest with you, if I had taken this picture, I'd wanted a print of it on my wall.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've never said that to me before.
Oh,
Okay, so we start with
Mm.
the basic shot. And I created what's called a smart layer in Photoshop just by right clicking and clicking convert to smart layer. But then what I did was I went into the camera raw filter and I made some adjustments in camera raw and I brought down the highlights because I thought that you know, the sand and the sulfur and whatever else is going on there is so hot and so bright, even at sunrise, you just have to bring it down a little bit. I did the same with the whites, just a subtle little change there. And then the other thing I did, I think I did it on this one. Yeah. So the yellows, I took down the saturation on the yellows. Your shot had it up here. I brought it down just so that it was not so evident. And I think that's really it. So there's that. And then the only other thing I did after that was I did a curves layer where I just adjusted the curve just a little bit. And you can kind of manage this any way you want to. You can get really, really, you know, grunge it down or just bring it back a little bit.
Hello?
Yeah, look at there.
Good, and you, Ramos?
So there's that.
Thank you.
Let's get back to some of your other images here because you've got some real nice ones. Let's see here. Was this another sunrise shot?
It's another
Wow.
sunrise shot.
Wow.
Wow. That's a good travel shot.
It was just amazing to me the way the sun made them look like they were
Wow.
lit up from the inside.
Dude.
Mhm.
Did you hear
Yeah.
Robin, Bob?
No,
Yeah.
It's a travel shot, which means she wants you to
Travel.
format this image and send it to her for her travel thing.
well, thank you. I will do that.
Yes. Yes.
All
Wow.
right. So when you prepare it, just remember you've got a few little hot spots here and there, right in
Okay.
the center
So-
here, and then up at the top here. So I did a little bit more work on this one too, and just
Oh my gosh.
Wow.
so this
Awesome.
is kind of how I would prepare it for print. But
Okay.
that's
Where's this
really,
Would you
really,
have
really
it-
nice.
Would you have it that dark for print?
I would, yeah, I probably would because I really want the rich colors. I mean, you can dial it back a little bit, but you know, when you walk into a photographer's gallery, you want these colors just to jump. You went to Delicate Arch.
Yes, arches. Yeah.
Nice hike up that way, isn't it?
It's a nice hike. The picture is a lot of work by George to help, to be honest with you.
Well, I did a really quick sky replacement therapy on it and just did that and cropped it down a little bit because I didn't feel like the sky up at the top added much value.
So
And
I'll tell you that George and I had a disagreement over that, so I'm just gonna leave it at that.
okay.
But I like your shot and I agree with you.
You want me to check the oil on that bus? Gee.
Did you feel that bus go over you? Because it went back twice.
Yeah, I noticed.
Did you have to take a lot of people out
But
of the
the
image?
picture was much better because of George. I mean, you added with the clouds, which made it, but yeah, anyway. George's concept was he didn't want any focus to be away from the arch. Okay.
Hey, I'm fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's probably best a sunrise shot or a night shot with stars in it. I've done both, and You just have to know that you're going to either stay up there all night to get the sunrise shot or stay up there all night to get the star shot. So you might as well just stay up there all night.
Well, a quick aside, the shots at Bryce, I made a decision when I got there because I was with my sister and brother-in-law and my wife, and they were there to enjoy the beauty. They didn't have the same agenda. So I decided to go rent my own vehicle so that I could be at Bryce before sunrise to get that picture. I did not have the car luxury once we got to Arches. Okay, so I was within someone else's agenda. I would have liked to have been there at sunrise, but life goes on.
I mean, I've done the hike up to Delicate in the dark. It is not an easy hike. It is not, you know, it's tough, especially when
you're following somebody. Because I don't see how you could get up there if you weren't following somebody who knew where they were going.
There were several of us up there. We went up there and did a full-blown production at nighttime with lights and generators and all kinds of stuff. It was pretty crazy.
About the last quarter of that hike is very iffy as far if it's in the dark. You can go off a cliff there.
You could.
Okay, so it looks like you found a few of the local animals.
Well, this is in the Grand Canyon. Totally unexpected. I did not expect to see wildlife there. And my problem was they were always in the woods. So.
Sorry.
Well,
those damn animals.
I will
Their
tell you where
natural
to
habitat.
go. I will tell you where to go to avoid just having them in the woods, and that's Estes Park, Colorado.
Well, good, because there's also probably where you were not a sign that said, do not get out of your car and pursue the animals.
Well, I had them 30 feet out of my hotel room one morning.
Wow.
Well, we did too, but not quite as the light was never right. But this guy, I had to walk a little ways to find him anyway.
We camped at the Grand Canyon a few years ago. We had a whole herd of them walk right by our camper.
Here's your last image.
Oh.
Is that Thor's hammer?
There you go. Mike, I like it because that's natural clouds. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my brother and I hiked down to the bottom, and coming up, we walked around a corner and it's right in front of you. And I was just like, oh, don't move. We're going to stay here for a while. So,
Yeah.
That's good. It's beautiful.
I hope you had a good time when you weren't shooting pictures, because you sure had a good time when you were.
Nice shots, Bob.
thank you for the comments.
Very nice. Very nice job. If you want to do any prints on any of those, let me know and I'll help you out.
Well, the other thing is you're going to get bored soon, because for the next 10 meetings, I only took 7,000 shots. So. I mean, we haven't even got to Antelope Canyon or Zion or any place else.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I've been to Antelope a number of times. That's a lot of fun too.
6:30.
Okay, Mr. Dave, this is your show and tell.
Yes. Thanks for getting these in, by the way. I appreciate it.
No worries.
My wife and I spent about 8 days up in the Adirondacks in upstate New York, and it was really a treat. It's a beautiful place, and this guy was in his canoe. He's in his 70s, I believe, and he was doing a trip from about a 70 or 80 mile 6-night trip through various waterways and lakes in the Adirondacks. And so the local people like to boast that they have approximately 3,000 lakes and ponds, 30,000 miles of rivers and streams, and about 200 waterfalls. So I was pretty impressed. But this guy was, nice. he really knew what he was doing. He was used to be an outward bound instructor.
Yeah. So you've got everything going for you here. You've got
red canoe,
like this inverted S curve, leading lines. You've got a nice crop going from the top. I might even suggest you can crop a little bit more up from the bottom. And you've got a red canoe, a guy with a red hat. You can't beat that. I think I mean, this is another great candidate for
Yeah,
for
For
Robin's
travel.
travel.
Yes.
And so you've done a really nice job here.
What a beautiful place. Boy, I highly recommend it. That's for sure. It was, I wasn't expecting to be quite so nice, and it really was.
Yeah.
Did you kayak?
No, it was a little chilly for us, but this guy was much hardier than we were.
Oh. Oh, I've been there kayaking, Lake Eaton. It's very beautiful. Yeah, we
Well,
tried.
that was, that photo, the previous photo was taken at Racket Lake.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
nice.
So while we were there in the Adirondacks, I got hooked up with a professional photographer who's pretty well known in the region. His name is Heilman, Carl Heilman. And he has written a book called Photographing the Adirondacks, which I would highly recommend if you want to do a trip up there. And this was one of his spots that he just happened to recommend, and we drove to it and shot it.
Right.
Nice.
Really, really nice exposure. You got a really nice silky waterfall. I think it's really good. The only thing I'd suggest is maybe a little bit of a crop from the left, but overall, it's a really nice image.
Thanks, appreciate it.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
So this one looks like part of it's missing.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there you go. That's
There we go. Yeah, bring it in a little bit more. That's about right. So anyway, this is another one from Carl's book, and just a spectacular sight, just cascades and waterfalls, and I decided it might look a little better in black and white, so that's what I did here.
yeah, I love it.
Great.
And this is another spot when we were out with Carl, just a small stream, beautiful colors. I would recommend, we were probably about a week too early for the peak of the colors. But in the Adirondacks, as we found out, if you go higher into what's called the high peaks area, the colors were better there than they were lower. I guess colder temperatures, I'm not sure. So the area up around Lake Placid was definitely showing some beautiful color.
Yeah, we had the same situation in Colorado, although elevation didn't seem to matter as much as just general luck. You know, I've been there from mid-September to mid-October, and have usually found that the equinox is the best time to go, and that's when we went right after that, and we had great color, but we also had some real nice contrast and diversity. We had some aspen groves that were still full green, some turning. It was interesting.
Well, we had a hot summer and actually a hot September, as you probably know then, and it's we're a little bit late in a lot of spots.
Very
So
nice
this
images.
This is just another shot on the tour I did with Carl, and one of the many 3,000 lakes. And so I like the color of the tree and juxtaposed to the rock, and you can see that I cropped it in a way that's not probably a traditional, it's more of a square than a normal dimension.
Yeah. All right. Well, very nice images. Let's you've got some travel images here too in the travel category, so we'll get to those. And Brian,
Yes.
just so that you know, we did go over all the PSA stuff, and I ran through some of the images that you sent over. Once we get done going through these other images, we can circle back around if you would like to.
Okay. The other thing I'd like to ask is that same picture with the red canoe be sent in for PJ as well.
Okay.
Can we
So I
only
think,
submit that in one category though, right, Brian?
No, you can enter the same image in more than one category.
Okay.
The point to that one is over some of the others is that it does show human interaction with the environment. And if you look at the definition of photogeneralism, it says it's to reflect the human presence in our world. And so things like that, action shots or people in an environment, I think are valid and sometimes do very well. In fact, if you looked at the ones I put in there, most of them had people in it because it's supposed to show a human presence and be part of telling a story.
Yeah.
So
All right,
Brian, do I
Dave,
need to do something to send you something, or what do you want?
Sorry?
Do I need to send an image to you or something?
Yes, what you need to do is you need
I'd
to
like you to
format
send
that.
it so that we have an image bank here that we can draw from. I can't guarantee, I mean, we're only going to enter 6 images for every contest, for 3 contests, and they all have to be from different photographers. So
Right.
can't guarantee they'll be entered, but I'd like to have it in the library for consideration.
Yeah, because I'll probably use it for travel as well.
Yeah, to answer your question, Dave, it needs to be formatted 1400 by 1050.
1400 wide.
By 1050 and
Yeah,
JPEG, I assume?
JPEG. Yeah,
Okay,
it's a 4:3. It's a 4:3 format.
got it.
Don't limit yourself to that. If the image like that other one, the square, suits the image better, crop to it, but the width can be no more than 1400 and the height no more than 1050, regardless of what the other measurement is.
Right.
And who should receive this, Brian, or just to the club?
Brian and Robin.
Yeah, send it to Brian and Robin, and we need to come up with a way to centralize our image bank.
Or
But, we need
could
to
send
work
it-
on that as we go on.
You could send it to the group and it would come to both of them.
Yeah, there you
I
go.
think we need to get together offline and talk about how we're going to do that. Maybe it's better to do it on the website.
Okay.
So, all right. So back to Dave's images. Dave went back in time.
Okay, this is the last one in the series, that travel series.
Okay.
And whoop, it's gone.
Well, I'll fix it here. Just a minute.
I have 4 of them that are called Musket 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then that one was called Cannon.
Okay. And I'm just showing them the way I got them. So there we go.
Okay, so our first day in the Adirondacks, we went to Fort Ticonderoga. And for those of you who might be geographically challenged like me, it is located on the south end of Lake Champlain on the New York side, in a narrow spot in the lake, and across from the water is Vermont. So just a little bit of history here. This, of course, dates back to the Revolutionary War, and the fort, following the war for the next 100 years or so, fell in total disrepair. A very wealthy family rebuilt it in 1920-ish or so, and it's really quite an interesting spot. If you happen to be up in that neck of the woods, I would certainly recommend stopping in. And one of the things they do is they put on some little demonstrations, I guess, throughout the day. And one of them involves these folks playing as British soldiers at the period of time, excuse me, of about 1776 or so. So anyway, they march out in the formal display and they show us how they load their muskets and put the powder in and all that sort of stuff. And then they go through a whole series of shots. This is the second one where he says, "On your mark." And so I just hit the button on the camera and ripped off a whole set of photos. And that's the second one.
I like his expression.
I'm looking at sparks. Sparks on the guy on the left. There's sparks right in front of
Well,
his musket.
that's excellent observation. I'll tell you, I don't know. Most of these guys were closing their eyes. On my UHD screen, when I blow it up, I can see all those details. And those sparks from the lighting off of the primer pan fly right in their face.
Oh,
And
man.
that's why they close their eyes if you look real closely.
Oh, yeah.
But the other thing that was interesting, just another little fact, we were told that a well-trained British soldier of that time could fire, these are all flintlock rifles or muskets, once every 15 seconds.
Wow.
And when you see them go through the drill of putting in the powder, priming the pan, jamming the ball down the, the barrel, it's amazing, 15 seconds.
And all you gotta do is dodge bullets from the other side during that 14-second tap.
Well, that's right. And these guys, the other thing we were told was they stand typically 25 to 50 yards from the opposing force. So, so then the blast comes out the end of the barrel, and it's pretty impressive. So anyway, that was the third shot. And then this is the last one. So now they've got sparks in their eyes and they can't see anything because of the smoke.
This is when you run up on them.
Yeah, you've already lost 2 seconds.
Yeah, it's pretty entertaining. So they went through that drill, and then later in the day, they bring out the cannon. And again, a little bit of history here. This cannon is the smallest one that they had at the fort. It's a 4-pounder. They went, I guess they had 4, 8, 12, and 16 pounders. And when they fired this baby, it was pretty impressive. I was about 15 feet away. And they did a nifty little sleight of hand with the cannonball. You see right at the bottom, to the right of the person in the yellow jacket, that's a storage bin. And it happens to be a lady. She reaches in, pulls out a cannonball, passes it along to the guy at the front of the cannon. And by looks of it, that guy was dropping the cannonball into the muzzle of the cannon. And I'm thinking, wait a minute. Are they going to fire this thing across into Vermont or what? What's going on here? Then I also just kind of leaned over and I could see that downrange from this cannon were several small boats out in the lake. And I'm thinking, really, they're not going to do this, right? Anyway, they fire the cannon and it made one heck of a noise. And if you look closely, you can see they all have their hands up against their left ears, and most have their eyes closed because of the shock of the cannon. And so when after the cannon fires, one of the folks walks over and says, we really didn't fire that ball out into Vermont. So it was very, very entertaining. I'm telling you, very entertaining. So I enjoyed it a lot.
I got to put that on my list. Good job. Nice job documenting all that.
Story too.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, George, you are up next. Here we go.
So I went down to Powell's nursery. They're very accommodating. If anybody wants to go, lots of flowers. I went down in the morning. I will tell you, if you go down in the morning, they randomly turn on sprinklers. So pay attention. It's really, there's a lot to shoot down there. It's really nice. Also, I have trouble with flowers. That's why I'm shooting them, just to try to figure out what to do with them. So these are some practice. So
I like the perspective. A lot of times we shoot flowers from the side or something like that, but I kind of like just shooting it straight on.
Thanks. So any tips, let me know. So this one, this is your standard hibiscus, and I concentrated on just this in a crop to show.
Yep, I don't
That's
know
nice. I
why
like
you
that.
say you have trouble with flowers. They look pretty good.
Yeah.
And I don't know what this is, but it's really bizarre because there's like a flower within a flower. You'll see it off to the left there with the shadow. And then anyway, this is only about 1 inch across, but anyway, thought it was interesting.
You got a pretty good depth of field on these. You're using that Sony, correct?
Yeah.
So did you have to do anything special to get the depth of field here?
Okay, so for macros, I shoot one or two ways on the Sony. I either shoot 600, shoot macros at 600 and as close as I can get, 600 millimeters. It actually does really good, but you got to nail the focus. Or I shoot a macro filter, which is a +5, and that's what this one is. And how I got the depth of field on this, I don't know. I usually shoot with that. I like to shoot somewhere between 100 millimeters and 150, no more than that, because then the depth of field becomes razor thin. So.
You at F16 or higher?
So this one was probably F16, which is as much as this camera goes. I normally
It
shoot.
really shouldn't matter if you're shooting at 100 to 150 millimeters. You could probably shoot F8 and you'd be fine.
Yeah.
If you have the filter on it, it probably makes a big difference.
Yeah, it does. It shortens it.
That's a 1-inch sensor too, isn't it?
What's that?
That's a 1-inch sensor on the camera too, right?
It's a 2.7, whatever. It's a 1-inch sensor, right?
Yeah.
And it's hot out. The squirrels lay down in the middle of the day. So anyway.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, thanks. And then I went out shooting with John Livernoy, and there's a college up in Northport with a big pond right in the entryway. Walking around the pond, we saw there were a lot of lily pads out there. There was a baby gator jumped out of literally at my feet, but he didn't present well. And there was a bigger gator that started bellowing, but I couldn't get a shot at him. So I ended up with this.
What month was this shot in, if you don't mind?
It was shot like last week.
Oh, okay. Okay.
All right. Very nice job.
Very nice.
Thanks.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay, Glenn, you are up next, and you've got some really nice stuff here too. I'll tell you what, we've got some good talent in this group.
I thought that might be some photojournalism here.
Yeah.
That looks like it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a nice black and white. Yeah.
The Gator Club.
Mhm.
Where is that?
Sarasota, Main Street.
Really?
Yep. This,
Wow.
I call this Vets Helping Vets. I just like the patch on it. If it wasn't for the patch, Vets Helping Vets, I probably wouldn't have taken the picture. They're loading Rico Spike on the truck. Hell's Angels started after World War II, a bunch of soldiers looking for camaraderie and a little adventure.
I think I've seen this image before, or maybe
Yes,
you've
sir,
done it out shoot.
I've showed it before.
Okay.
It's been, I guess, in the 1930s, they started doing this act at fairs and.
That's crazy. Crazy.
So would you like any of those resized, Brian, or?
Yeah, let me have the vets and the motorcycle external where the hawkers out there collecting tickets.
Okay, we'll do.
Okay, I kind of group mine into two different categories, but it doesn't really matter. They're all from my my trip to Colorado. And we were out in, we started out in Crested Butte, and then we went over to Montrose. And then Cindy and I finished up at Grand Lake and then over to Estes Park.
See any moose on near Grand Lake?
No, but I did see moose. the trip over from Grand Lake to, I mean, it was perfect weather for a moose in Grand Lake. It was damp. It was kind of, you know, foggy and wet and yucky. Those damn moose were hiding. But when we drove over, the Trail Ridge Road was closed, of course, because it was snowing up top at 12,200 feet, and so we had to drive the way around, which is a lot slower, but it's a real scenic drive. And we did see a moose on the side of the road. He was going up a hill. I could not stop fast enough and get his picture, but we did see moose in Crested Butte and had some nice interactions with a moose family. So I'll show you some of those. These are all workshop pictures, so I always try to teach a variety of different things, changes in perspective, trying to do some abstract things with, especially with aspen trees, is a lot of fun. This is just probably like a 1 second exposure where I'm just moving the camera from top to bottom. This is an image I'm going to demo here in a few minutes and just show you how to combine either 3 to 5 images together, shooting HDR. When you have, you know, that moment shooting sunrise or sunset, when you've got these really bright brights and dark darks, and you can actually, you know, capture all of those tonal ranges. You just have to do some bracketing.
Nice.
This was in Rocky Mountain National Park as we were approaching Bear Lake. On the workshop, we did a little bit of a macro mini workshop. We pulled off at a place outside of Montrose, and we set up a couple of picnic tables with a bunch of prepared things out there. Just everywhere we stop, we just pick up things, and we said, okay, build your own, you know, macro
Your device
shot.
isn't set up yet.
So
download the Google Home app on a phone or tablet.
Damn smart speakers won't shut up. So this is a stacked focused macro image, probably 5 or 6 images that have been blended together in Photoshop. This one, same thing. This was taken during the you know, the bright of the day.
Motion detected at the front door.
Yeah, I know. Alexa's going crazy here. Cindy's been out and about. Anyhow, so there's some of the images from Colorado, and I'll show you a few more. Let's see here.
What days were you there, Mike? What?
We got there on we were there from the 23rd to the 1st of October.
Okay.
And really nice conditions.
Pretty.
So I decided to do this in black and white. I've done it in color before, and it's always kind of fun. It's, you know, a bit high key and what have you, but everybody always loves these knots in these trees and the texture and things like that. So it's always fun to try these shots.
Those are aspens, right? Not birch.
They are indeed aspens. Yes.
Okay.
That's pretty much all you can find out in Colorado, except for an occasional cottonwood or some coniferous trees like you know, Doug firs or spruces or what have you. This is an HDR shot as well, shot at f/22 to get the starburst. And I always try to get the low sun in the sky when I'm doing this because it gives some really nice shadows. This is Gothic Mountain at sunrise in Crested Butte. The mountains to your left there, if you go far enough, those are the backside of the Maroon Bells Mountains. So you can actually hike over that way, or you can do a horseback ride trip. But this was at sunrise, and I really liked the way the road laid out and kind of brought you to the shot.
Yeah, good.
That would be good travel.
Okay.
Yeah,
This is
that's
a
really pretty.
Three-shot HDR.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
This is another one. I think I sent you this one, George, for nature. The deer and the cows were just kind of hanging out in the aspens. They really didn't care about us, but they were there. This is the beginning of the road going from Cimarron over to Ridgeview and Owl Creek Pass. It was really pretty.
Oh, wow.
Saw this guy. He was probably about 100 to 150 yards away. He was much higher elevation coming down. He was chasing a lot of the deer out of the mountains, and this is probably the biggest, fattest bear I've seen. We did see one other bear, a brown bear, a younger brown bear, outside of Crested Butte, but this one was in Rocky Mountain. And then this is probably the granddaddy of elk. They say there is like one bigger than this in Rocky Mountain. This old guy has been injured and he's got a bit of a broken leg. He still kind of gets around and all, but most of his females and his harem have left him. So he just lays around and rests a lot. But I thought it was a pretty tremendous picture.
Yeah, he's a big boy, no doubt about it.
Yeah. So we did some night shooting as well. In the world of night photography, you measure the skies on what's called the Bortle scale from 1 to 9. And 1 is like the darkest dark sky you've ever seen in your life. And 9 is you pretty much can't see a star. This was a Bortle 2 sky. And I could see the Milky Way with my own eyes.
Wow.
I was out at the observatory in Punta Gorda last night, I guess, or 2 nights ago, Tuesday night. We were doing some telescope work out there, and I could see the Milky Way with my naked eye out there. But these shots turned out pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is shooting north. This is about 30 minutes worth of shots, 30 seconds exposures at f2.8, probably ISO 800.
Wow.
So
beautiful.
The hard part is when you shoot these, I shot these shots between like 8 and 8:30 in the evening. And the hardest part was getting all the airplanes out. So if you go to do star trails, go after about 10 o'clock in the evening, and we are getting into some really fun star season, and so if you're interested, Bobby, I know you are. Did you bring your star tracker?
Yep, I got my star tracker. I haven't even cracked it out of the box yet though, because summer was weird. But yeah, I'm gonna set it up and do some stuff with it here pretty quick.
All right. Well, we'll plan a field trip, and before we do a field trip, Bobby, let's you and I get together, and I'll just kind of walk you through how the star tracker works.
Cool. Yeah, I'd like that.
Excuse me, Mike.
Okay.
On the thing of field trips, the motorcycle pictures I took with the Wall of Death. That was from the Flywheelers meet in Fort Meade, and they're apparently they're meeting again next month.
Okay.
That might
All
be
right.
a field trip.
Very good. And I
You
know
like
George
to go
has an
ahead.
idea for a field trip as well. And we'll talk about that here in just a few minutes. Brian, I've reached the folder for your photojournalism. Do you want me to go through the images again?
People have seen them. That's we don't need to do it again. Those are
Okay.
basically trying to get 6 people to send me pictures so that I could pick one from each of them. If you want to go through them again, we can. I could say why I thought they fit, but it's not necessary.
No, I don't want to go through them again. We've got some other things to cover, and I will I'll shoot you some of the ones that you and I chatted about, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Okay, so Robin, here are your images.
Okay.
Love this.
These are all with the iPhone. These I took on the biking around Lake Keuka Lake. This guy had this beautiful dahlia garden, and it was a nice cloudy day, and yeah, this is one of my favorites.
Like a dahlia on an LSD or something. It's just like going crazy.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
I love the way the petals twist. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of the farms along the way. But yeah.
Those are always fun shots.
Yeah. This is Penyan, and the world's largest pancake griddle was here. It is like bigger than a truck. It's on the back of, I didn't show it, but anyway, it's huge. Yeah.
All right, I'm in.
Yeah, I don't know how they flipped it. I'll do a picture next time.
Forklift truck.
Yeah. This is back with the dahlias in the morning. Yeah, they're really pretty.
These are really sweet. These are nice.
Yeah, this is iPhone. You know, the iPhone.
I tell you what, those iPhones are pretty amazing now, aren't they?
Oh my God, I love it. You know, when I travel, because I have everything on my bike, I don't want to bring that. So this was Letchworth Park, and it was kind of a misty, cloudy, rainy day, and this is the falls.
Cool.
Nice, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty place.
I think I messed around with this one. Yeah. I went
Whoa.
black and white.
Oh, that's cool, black and white. You know, that train trestle used to be all wooden, and when a train went over, it shook so much it scared people half to death. So the people would get out and then walk across, and they replaced it with a steel one. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Yeah.
All right. Well, good job. I mean, I tell you what, we have really got some nice images this time around, and I really think that everybody's just really working hard at getting nice images and doing a great job of getting out there and photographing. So, thanks very much. And I'm going to show you a real quick and dirty technique on doing HDR images. And then what else do we have to go over here, George?
I think that was about it.
Okay. So
if we have time, I did send in a few images really late this afternoon. I don't know.
Oh yeah, she did. And I think yeah, and Robin had a few more actually.
Oh, really? Okay.
The ones we had from Robin for photojournalism were mostly with her iPhone, and I thought they were terrific.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right, hang tight, Bobby. Let me get these moved over to a folder here so I can show them.
I didn't even think I'd have time to send them in. So if we don't have,
No, we're good. We are good. I just got to kind of get them pulled over here. There they are. And I thought I got all Robins.
Well, like Brian said, she sent some others in. It was for photojournalism. So
Yeah, those are photojournalism.
Okay. All right. So let me pull up Bridge. And here's Bobby's. Okay. Well, yeah, I've seen a few of these on Instagram. Here we go.
Cool.
So this is over at Ollie's Pond.
Wow.
I just love the colors and the difference of the, that whatever that yellow fruit is, that cardinal was pretty happy just to be sitting there eating it and ignoring me with my camera.
That's awesome. You don't get that chance with cardinals that often.
No, not very often.
They're flitty.
Oh yeah, these are great.
Yeah.
So this guy's over at Ollie's Pond too.
Do you think that's the one that had the babies over there? They had the nest?
That was
Oh,
2
you
years
must be
ago.
thinking of Kiwanis.
No, at Ollie's
No,
Pond.
about
It wasn't last
2 years.
year, it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
Or 3, yeah.
2 years ago.
Wow. It's a great shot. This is beautiful too.
This is just a little pine warbler. They don't often sit long enough to get a nice clear picture of them either.
Yeah, I
Right.
tried that once. They're really tough.
I
They
don't have
are
any
those little
birds
birds.
still when I come at them with the camera. I love this one.
Me too.
Wow.
I love this picture. I feel like that meadowlark sat there long enough for me to actually contemplate composition and take a real picture.
Wow.
I mean, this needs to be submitted somewhere because this is an award-winning image.
Yeah, can't go
That's
in nature
beautiful.
though.
No.
You have you've done a couple of really cool things. You've done a great job of managing depth of field, where all you can do with your eye is focus on that one post and the bird. And you've got these leading lines of the fence going down there. You've got the leading lines of the vertical pine trees in the back. It's very well composed. I think we need to find a place to enter it. Certainly Florida Camera Club Council, but probably
I think there is
some
a
other-
PSA projected image division that might fit, but we aren't in that.
Well,
Okay.
projected image, isn't that where you project an image on a subject?
It's just for any image. It's you can do whatever you want to it. You can make it creative. It's just color. Basically, there's color, which is projected image division, and monochrome, which is PID. And then you have nature, photojournalism, photo travel.
Well, I would definitely, when we get around to the first triennial for Florida Camera Club Council, get this one in for sure.
I think that
Yeah.
opens on November 15th. I think it opens for the first digital round, doesn't it, Bernie?
That's gonna. No, well. The next event that's going to happen will be the year end.
Oh, the year end. Okay.
And then in the beginning of next season, we'll have the first one. Huh?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely an entry. Oh, that's a good
I've got
sign.
one more of Robin's images or Bobby's images here.
Oh wow, that's so nice.
Kingfisher.
Oh,
They're kind
clean.
of flighty too.
Yes.
They are kind of flighty.
Beautiful.
Yeah. To actually get a portrait of one of these guys is a little
Flighty.
challenging.
And I know that in competitions you can't really move things around, but I really want there to be more room on the left than on the right.
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could crop it.
Yeah.
You could crop that one to
Anyhow.
a vertical.
Yeah.
Nice job.
Nice.
Very nice.
Those last couple were out at Cecil Webb.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to bring up Lightroom. Lightroom is an Adobe product. It comes with It comes with Photoshop in the photographer's package. It's like $9.99 a month with Photoshop. I use it all the time. It's the beginning of my workflow. I use it to import images, and when I do that, I can change the file name to anything I want. And so this is kind of this is where I hang out a lot. And you can do HDR images in here really easily. I'm going to go over to what's called the develop module and just grab these 3 images. This one was shot at 1/5 of a second. This one at 1/30th, and this one is a 1/2 second. And we're just going to see, you've got these really, really bright brights. I did a YouTube video on this for my workshop group, and I posted it to our Facebook group. So if you haven't seen the video, I go into a little bit more detail, but here it is. First thing I want to do is just check over here on the right-hand side, the profile corrections, and that helps it with the lens aperture a little bit, and remove chromatic aberration. And then I'm just going to hit Command All and sync all that to every image there. So that's done. And then all I have to do is highlight each one of the images I want to combine, and I right click and I go up to Photo Merge and I click on HDR, and it creates a preview for me. I never mess with any of the settings because that just starts to get things looking really, really wonky, and I don't like that. I like a nice natural looking HDR image. I want to see the image the way I saw it with my eyes, and that's what this does. It creates that ability. And then all I have to do is merge them together, and in the upper left, it just blends them together. And you can see I've got a spot on my sensor on the left-hand side up at the top, and I've got to fix that. So here is the merged image. Here's that sensor issue right here. And I spent probably the whole week I was there trying to get that damn spot off my sensor, and I just never could really get it done. The way you fix it in Lightroom is just by clicking this little tool over here with the arrow and just clicking over the spot that you need to replace. It goes out on its own and finds a similar area, and then you click done, and it's gone. So in Lightroom, this entire module here is the same as the Adobe Camera Raw module in Photoshop. So really, all you have to do is go in here and make any adjustments you want to. The first thing I'm going to do, if I want to make colors brighter or darker, I don't typically add brightness or darkness to them. I typically adjust the luminosity or the saturation. So if I've got some blue in the sky, I can also bring down the luminosity of the sky. I've also got some yellows that I can do anything with if I want to. I'm only going to bump it up a little bit. There might be some oranges in there too, and there might be some greens. Then I'm going to go over to saturation and bring up the orange, the yellow, and the green. And I think the orange, yeah, see what happens when I bring up the orange? Look at the top of the mountain. So you just kind of have to be careful of that. I'm going to leave it right about there. The other thing that you can do, they have a graduated neutral density filter here. If I drag that down, and if I double click on the effect here, that resets it. And then I can just drag it down. I'm going to pull down the highlights a little bit and the exposure just a titch. And that way I can bring down a little bit of the sky. And in about, how long did that take? About maybe a minute or 2 minutes. I went from these 3 images that are not acceptable to a really nice, acceptable HDR image that really reflects how I was seeing it in the field. You've got the yellows, you've got the greens, you've got the blue sky, you've got the sunrise on the mountains. I've done the same thing. So that was using 5 or 3 images, plus or minus 2 exposure values. This one actually uses 5 images. And so this is what the first one looks like. It's pretty dark, right? Here's the second image, a little bit better. Here's the third image. Here's the fourth image.
And Mike, what's the spread on the EV on this one?
Two exposure values. So you go from the darkest of darks is 1/8,000th of a second, and the brightest of the brights is 1/60th of a second.
And then
so you're.
My question is, how do you know what spread you want?
You know, what I have found is that you start with 2 exposure values. If you only use 1 exposure value, you're really only varying your entire range by 2 EVs. So that just doesn't really do a whole lot. I mean, that's talking, you know, going from here to here, and maybe that one. And that really just doesn't, I mean, over here, this is probably the 0 shot, or the shot that didn't go plus or minus.
Right.
This is the -2 shot. This is the +2 shot. So if you're happy with this, you could probably, I could probably work this up and fix it so that it looked like the end result. But when I'm in the field, why not, you know, why not shoot? I'm shooting digital. I typically almost always start with 2 exposure values, and rarely go past 2. Sometimes I might go to 3 if I've got, you know, something, you know, like Bob, if I were out at Bryce Canyon, I might have shot 5 shots, or even 7 or 9 shots at ±2. I might have tried 3 shots at ±3, just because of the peaks and the valleys of the histogram. One of the things that I was really teaching a lot on my workshop is the use of the histogram in the field. So if you look at this image and you see this histogram over here in the upper right, you can tell that it's too dark. You've got a lot of space left over here on the right-hand side. The goal is to move that space to the right. This is your dark shot. Only about half of the zones are exposed. This is your bright shot. And you've got pretty good coverage, but you're blown out because you're peaking over here on the right-hand side. The end result, this is the end result. You've got nice peaks with your reds, your greens, your blues. It's just a really nice histogram. Same thing on this one. The darks, you're just going to get a spike on the left, and the brights, you're going to get a spike on the right. So, George, to answer your question, you just have to work the technique. That's my answer. So, if you go, you know, just pick a day and go out and work it and try a bunch of different things and see what you like. I think that, you know, I was teaching as well as shooting for myself. And I was telling my group, you guys, I'm switching to 5 shots, because look what I've got. I mean, I've got this bright sky. And then I've got this drama and these clouds. And I really wanted that drama. So this is the combined image right here. I've still got the drama. And I've got to fix these darn spots on my lens. Gonna fix those real quick. Click, click. Looks like there's another one up here. Oh, now, oh, no, I've got more in here, don't I? I've got one there. I've got one there. I've got one
So
there.
do you know how to do the visualize spots?
Well, I just shoot them up at a blank area and look for the spots.
Yeah, no, if you scroll down to the section where you have the sharpening over on your, I think it's been a while since I've done it.
You passed the sharpening. There's the sharpening.
Oh, no, it's not there. Okay, actually, if you click on the little round spot with the, you know, the tool up on the top,
Yeah.
and then down on the bottom at the below your image, there's a little checkbox that says visualize spots.
Yeah. Bottom
Oh,
left.
okay.
There you go.
Very cool.
Wow.
You got a lot of spots there.
So you can see all those little artifacts. There's a couple more of them that you can't see on the image that are there.
Let me see here. Here's all right. So here's the original. So if I click that and then I click visualize spots, I see 1, 2, 3 spots.
There's another one over on the left above the cloud a little bit.
Yeah.
Over here.
Mike, you
One
can
here,
also
one
move
here.
Straight up.
move the slider to the right of the box that you checked. I think it increases or decreases the effect.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah, now you see more.
There you go.
You guys are
Oh,
awesome.
man.
Great.
I like
Thank
that
you.
shot. Great shot.
Yeah, I just never used it. So you know what? You never know what you're going to learn when you come to Camera Club.
That's the whole
That's
point.
right.
All right,
Mike,
so
I got another question for you, Mike. As I recall reading back in time here, when you use the HDR function in Lightroom, I think you create a 32-bit file, and
no,
I
you
think.
don't.
Oh, well then, okay, then let's go by that one because maybe that was a separate issue. But you also gain more control on the sliders, as I recall, EV controls. When you go up to the exposure, you can go.
Yeah,
you
if
can
you'll
swing it.
notice, if I do this in Lightroom or even in Photoshop, now you can create a 32-bit file in Photoshop, and that's I can do. I think I've done a tutorial on that before, but this creates a .dng, which is Adobe's raw camera format, stands for digital negative, and I still have all the control I have over here on the right-hand side. So we're going to go over here. And we're gonna make some decisions. First thing I want to do is just bring down my blacks a little bit more because I want to see more drama out of that sky, and I want to bring up the shadows a little bit more because that's gonna help me with the colors. The next thing I'm going to do is go to my luminance. I'm going to bring up green just a titch, yellow a bit, and orange a little bit, and then same with saturation. And that just helps it pop just a little bit more. The other thing I can do here is I can do a De-Haze, which is kind of like contrast, but a little bit different.
It saturates too, yeah. I like that.
Yeah. But I'm going to show you another technique that takes you out of Lightroom here in just a moment. So oh, I just saw another spot. There we go. I need to send my camera in. All right, so I'm going to right click here and click in edit in Adobe Photoshop because I want to show you this other technique. I know that you know, we have some who work in Photoshop and some who don't. That's cool. Let me just change the share over to Photoshop. And okay, here we go. All right, so here's the image in Photoshop. this is a really easy tip. You hit Command or Control J to duplicate the layer. And you go down and change the blending mode to soft light.
Wow.
And look at the difference.
And then you can just use opacity to set it the way you want it.
Or you can add a mask and paint it any way you want to. So for me, I'm going to set my brush opacity at about 50% and start there. I want the mountains to kind of stay where they are, but I want to bring up these the foreground and the trees a little bit, maybe even a little bit more. So I'm pretty happy with that. The other thing that you can do is select the sky. And this is a real quick and dirty selection. And you can either do this in curves or in levels. I'm going to do it in levels. And see what happens when you start playing with it, though. Your darks are not happy. So I have to go to the midpoints.
There you go.
And that helps me bring a little bit more out of that sky. And then the final thing I'll do is crop it. I think that the drama of the image is in the sky and in the colors and in the mountains. So I don't necessarily know that I need a lot of foreground. And I'm probably going to stick with something a bit like that and then bring this down just a little bit. So that might be my end up image.
Nice.
I can make a nice black and white too.
Well, let's take a look real quick. Maybe it will. It's real easy to change to black and white in Photoshop. There's an adjustment tool for it. And, you know, I don't know. I mean, I know you're a big fan of black and white, Glenn. I like it for the right image. This one, I like the color.
Yes, nice.
I think I just prefer it in color. I've got this range shot in all kinds of different situations. So it's always fun to see it coming out of Telluride. Okay.
So Mike,
So that's your.
I just wanted to so there's I've got a photo opportunity. Wanted to talk about. I'm going to send out an email to the group here later today or tomorrow. So there's a sanctuary, an animal farm animal rescue sanctuary about 30 minutes from here, 30 minutes from Port Charlotte. It's just south of Arcadia. Take Burmont Road out to 31 north. It's about 3.5 miles, and I'll send you all the particulars. It's called Little Bear Sanctuary. They have 200 rescued farm animals, from domesticated wild pigs to farm wild pigs to baby pigs. They have 7 baby pigs now. They have goats. They have pot-bellied pigs. They have a miniature donkey. They have miniature horses. They have horses and cows. Like I said, 200 animals, and they're not in pens. Some of the areas are up to 10 acres large, and the animals are allowed to roam because they interact with people all the time. They're actually quite friendly. Anyway, you have to, if you want to go there, you have to get an appointment, which takes maybe a week or so to set up. I have set one up for next Thursday morning, 8:30 to 10:30. And all I ask, because they asked, is if you want to come, let me know by Monday so I can give her how many people are going to show up. Since it's quite a large area, they also have a pond on the property. They just like to know how to account for people and maybe how to divide us up to let us go shoot different things. Anyway, I'll put that out in a group email with the details, and you're welcome to come. So
should probably do a carpool, or you think, or
so right now we're taking our truck. By the way, there is a half-mile dirt road off of 31. So if you have a choice in vehicles, keep that in mind. I have 2 seats open in my vehicle. So at this point, my wife's coming because anytime she gets to interact with the animal she's in. So, but I still have
Cool.
2 seats open. If somebody wants to go, just let me know.
All right, very good.
Well,
Thanks for setting that
any
up.
adventure worth having includes a dirt road, in my opinion.
Here.
There
right,
is,
so we
for
are,
flower photographers out there, the orchid show at Selby Gardens just opened last weekend.
Oh, awesome. Thank
Where
you.
is that?
Selby
It's
Gardens
Sarasota.
in Sarasota.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it's a botanical garden. You should go. If you haven't been, you should go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Great.
Beautiful.
All right, everybody, you guys are doing amazing work. Keep it up. Thanks very much. We're going to try and get some more photo trips coming up now that the weather is starting to break a little bit more and we don't have quite as much rain and quite as much 120 degree heat index days. So also, if you were asked to send an image to George or Robin or Brian, please do so. And we need to have those pretty soon so that we can kind of get the group together and make some decisions.
Right. And
so
if you
looks like
don't, if you haven't been asked, but you have photos that fit those categories, please send those.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely.
As long as we're
All right.
speaking about images, the the FCCC print, third print competition's coming due. I need to have the prints at the Lakewood Ranch Club by the 22nd. So I usually like to allow 3-4 days in the mail since we ship them off the least expensive way we can. I'd like to put them in the mail on Monday. If anybody has a print, we need to connect and I need to collect it. So.
And you have until end of business tomorrow to actually submit it through the FCC camera or website. You have to submit first and then get the print to Bernie.
Yes. So if you have a print, let's make connections. I'll drive around town, pick them up if you want on Monday.
And Bernie, you said that you had some results from the last competition.
I do. If you want to share screen here.
Yeah, I can do that. Give me just a second here.
Okay.
Okay, you're all set.
Let's see if I can do this, huh? Oh, yeah. Screen, let's see, yeah. How about share? And let's see if I can put this up. Oh, yeah, here we go. This is from you guys getting it?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, this is a black and white. This was by David Omelette. Yeah, he's not here tonight, but he managed
I am.
Oh, you are. You're
There he
hiding
is.
there. Good.
Hey, Bernie.
How you doing? I didn't see you.
Good.
Anyway, you picked up a yellow ribbon and I'm holding on to it till we connect. And if you didn't know you won it, this is from the last digital competition. And actually, I have a real collection of ribbons from 2 or 3 various competitions because we haven't been meeting in person. So you picked up one. Mike picked up one with this one, another yellow one.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that is. I managed to get to a sunflower farm this past summer, so my first experience with it, but very nice image. Another yellow. George, you recognize this one? And he got
a blue ribbon.
he
All
got the
right,
blue
good
ribbon
job.
out of it. Huh? Yes, sir.
That's gorgeous.
Yeah, really.
Wow.
Yeah. We got another red ribbon here by George.
Nice.
Very good, yeah. Is
It's
that,
on
is that
Kings
out on
Highway.
I was gonna say, is that out on Kings Highway?
That's out on Kings Highway.
Okay. Nice job.
Wow.
Yes.
George. Wow.
George is picking up the ribbons. Huh?
Wow.
I did good on this one.
Yeah, you did, huh?
Oh, man.
Trying to catch up with you, Bernie.
Wow.
Nice.
And I had my fingers in the pie. Creative category, of course.
That's great.
Actually, this little fairy was a little glass figurine in a jewelry store. It's an expensive trinket. Huh? And I just put it on a flower.
Wow. Oh.
It's a granddaughter, huh? Yeah, picked up a white ribbon on this one.
Wow.
Very cool.
And these guys are in my photo bucket there for my props.
Toy box.
Picked up a yellow ribbon. So anyway, that we made out pretty good in the last digital competition.
Wow, that's great.
Very
Okay.
nice.
Okay.
All right. Keep up the good work, everybody. We meet in 2 weeks. The theme is night photography. Doesn't necessarily have to be stars. If it is, that's great. We had some other night shots out there. So get out there and shoot at night. Make sure you're on a tripod. It works better that way. And we will see everybody in 2 weeks.
Thank you all.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Good night.
Great meeting.
Right.
Thanks.
Hey.
See ya.